Ortho K lenses is another approach that's being suggested to children especially. With children, it is not really a good approach because children are not really candidate for the regime that is needed to keep them clean. They stick to the eyes at night, so when you wake up in the morning, you have to take them off, either by your fingers or by a suction cup or put drops in the eyes. So the danger of infection is very high unless you are super clean. Now, infections in the eye will lead to ulcers in the cornea, which eats the cornea away. And this would result in potentially cornea transplant to be needed. And again, the problem is that when you stop using those Ortho K lenses, it goes right back. They are very expensive, and that's the reason that optometrists are very keen in selling them to you. It is between $1,000 and $1,400 a year just for the lenses. They break, they fall apart.
So there's a kind of contact lens, a hard contact lens called Ortho K lenses. So you have the base curve of the eye, and you then make a contact lens that are slightly flatter, and you wear that overnight. So it's like braces on teeth. The trouble with this, of course, is that when you wake up in the morning, the lens sticks to the eye, and it has to be pried off by the finger or by a suction cup, or you have to put drops in the eye. So it's a very complicated procedure, and it's really not appropriate for children. Some doctors refuse to sell Ortho K lenses to children less than 14 years old. Now, how effective are Ortho K lenses really? If you're less than 2 diopters, less than 200, then the diopter that you can expect to be reduced is 1.12. In other words, there are then 0.75 diopter remaining. In other words, the children are not getting clear eyesight with Ortho K lenses. If you're between -2 and 200, or between -200 and 300, or 2 and 3 diopters, then you have a diopter reduction of 1.86, or at best cases 2 diopters. That means that there's 1 or 1.5 diopter left, at least. If you're a higher degree, and that's where the problem comes in, if you're more than -3, between 3 and 500, then you can expect to have roughly 2 diopter reduction. So that means you have at least between 1 and 3 diopter near sight still. Now, 3 diopters you can just read. That's all. You cannot see any further than that. More than 6 diopters, the reduction that this research concluded is about 2.5 diopter. That means you still have 3.5 diopter left. So this enables you to read, that's all. But it does not enable you to see the glass on board. This is done in a study published in 1994. The problems with Ortho K lenses is that the effect is temporary. Myopia comes right back when you discontinue the lenses. Keeping the eyes and the lenses clean is a very complicated procedure. It takes a long time. The recommendation is about 4 pages long. The Ortho K lenses, the hard lenses, tend to stick. They tend to stick to the eye and must be pried off in the morning. And often this is done with a finger. There are serious risks of infection and potentially permanent damage using those lenses. The early study, the first study of Ortho K lenses was the Berkeley orthokeratology study. This was a very comprehensive study that was done in 1983. This was the first, when the lenses were really coming out, this was the first thing that was sort of really very thorough investigated. There were 3 parts of that study, major study. And already then they concluded that when you stop wearing the lenses, the effect goes right back. So this is the effect. Okay, you can see here the white part, this is where the lenses are used, but the gray part after 12 months. So in just a few days, it goes right back to roughly where it was before. So again, it is temporary and it is a waste of time. So parents are often given the impression that Ortho K lenses prevent nearsight, which they do not. Here's one of the participants who was part of the 1983 study in Berkeley. This is his experience.
Yeah, back in the, I guess it was the late 70s or early 80s, I was an ex-student at UC Berkeley and somehow heard about this very exciting study for orthokeratology, where they would put contacts in my eyes, and if I was not part of the control group, the idea was that they would act like braces for the eyes and reshape the lens so that I would have 20/20 vision. I hated glasses, and I didn't think there was any other way to improve my vision. So I willingly signed up, and we spent months going in like once a week, and they would take all kinds of measures. And at the end of the study, I was delighted to discover that I now had 20/20 vision. But at that point, they said part of the study was to see if people, once they achieved perfect vision, would have any regression of vision if they stopped wearing the lenses. And I was only wearing the lenses like a couple hours a day at that point. So I stopped wearing them completely, and within 2 weeks, my eyes were exactly where they started. Complete diminishment of every advancement. It was very rapid, very quick, and that was that. I was back to where I started from and needed to wear glasses, and I still wear them.
Doctors are dead against it because doctors are the ones who see the trouble. You know, when you have trouble with your Ortho K lenses, you don't go to the optometrist. He sends you to the doctor, to the eye doctor. So the eye doctor sees all the troubles, and therefore they are much more against this whole thing. They say this is a waste of time and that you shouldn't do it, and the potential of serious, very serious effects are very high. This is Dr. Dinesh Lam from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Also, a couple of years ago, 2001, there were 16 children in Hong Kong who developed permanent eye damage because they were wearing those Ortho K lenses. So after that, there was put in much stricter training requirements and so forth in Hong Kong. And it is only a temporary effect. And when you stop using the lenses, it goes right back. So it's a waste of time, waste of money. They're very expensive on top of that.